Hey there again, and today I bring to you a little tiny box. But what is going to be the focus this time is what's inside this little tiny box, and I'm actually pretty excited about it. Let's find out together what it is in the latest GotBot True Review. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course subscribe, and hey, while you're at it, there you go, please hit the bell for notifications. Check out Machinery of Man, the Everything Factor, Transformers Collectors NL, and have a look for me everywhere. And this, yes, is a little box. It came from Uncle Billy's shop, and inside of it is the Shockwave Labs SL 51, I think it is. It is the add-on pieces that go with the Transformers Siege Soundwave to fill in his arms and allow him to do a proper tape deck mode. Although, to be fair, the pieces that kind of go attached to his back can sort of be used in a couple of ways. I'll explain what I mean when we head over to the table and take a closer look at this and him with them attached. And of course, we're starting out with an itty-bitty box. I don't know, there's some number on the front. I guess it's just a product number. Outside of that, there's really nothing on this thing. And we will open it up, and when we open it up, inside, all we have is a little baggie that has parts in it. Now you'll notice there's only two parts in here because I already have two on, but I want to show you guys what the parts are and exactly how you attach them. So, this is the first part that we have, and it's painted silver, though I think it was white plastic like the hinge back here. This hinge will slot into a section on Soundwave's forearm, and then this piece can move. I will note too that it's pinned. I like that. I like that it's pinned. This will move out of the way for his hand to be able to fold inside, but that's one piece we get. And we also get two of these silver sections. The white tab is what slots into a section on the back. You'll notice that you have well, actually it's like a hexagonal hole, but it can hold 5mm, pegs. So whatever. I don't know, maybe it can hold flight stands. I don't know, but like there's a hole there and it works. And you'll notice that up by my finger here, there's a rail system. We'll see how that works in just a little bit. And if we compare Soundwave's forearms, you can see exactly what the difference is. Hollow? Not hollow. I'm not sure how I feel about that silver though. We may have to deal with that in a little bit. Nevertheless, I'll show you kind of how this goes on now. So I'm really hoping that this shows up clearly. There's, inside the forearm, way in there, there's a little like ledge, I suppose. And if we look at the white here, that little ledge is sort of molded out right here. So we should be able to just take this section and slide it into position inside the arm. Then, just using the hinge, we should be able to just close that over. So now, our lad Soundwave has not one, but two completed forearms. Though, like I said, the silver is bothering me a little bit. Now, of course, filling in those forearms was only part of the chore and challenge here. We also have a section that goes slotted into his back, and it provides a rail for his arm to now traverse all the way back, or all the way forward, or somewhere in between if you're so inclined. And when we look at the back of Soundwave and lift this piece up, you will notice that we have a rectangular sort of slot there. Well, the white piece that I pointed out earlier on that section will slot in right there. And I don't mind the silver here as much as I do on the forearms. And in robot mode, you don't even really notice the back pieces. I suppose you might note that these sections are not flat down on his back, but I mean, if you really wanted to, you could even bring them all the way forward. They're kind of inconsequential anyway. I'm not even really sure why they're there, to be honest, but I leave them back, I don't even notice them. However, what you do notice is that he now has nice filled in forearms. That silver is still bugging me, man. There we go. I think that might look a little bit better. Now, full disclaimer, I done this entire review, including the intro and outro, before I went back and added this paint. And after I added the paint, I said, no, I should really go and kind of update that. So when we get to the outro at the end of the video, if you happen to notice that I show something having to do with the forearm there and it's still silver rather than this gray, that's why, because this is kind of being put in after the fact, and I'll kind of pick up the rest of the review from here, now with the arms like this. Why not? I'm here, I've come this far, I might as well go the rest of the way from here on out, instead of trying to do another kind of awkward cut back to the original footage. But I like this a lot more. It's just a little touch of gray added. I mean, you can leave the silver, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just I found it stood out to me a little bit more than I wanted it to. By the way, eagle-eyed viewers may notice that, yes, in fact, the eyes of Soundwave are now red. And honestly, I want to thank Joseph for this, because he's the one who gave me the idea, the option to do it. I loved the light piping, but I know that by rights, to be true to animation, his eyes should be red. And I thought about it, but I said, the way the space is, while I could do it, it might be kind of sloppy. There has to be a nicer way to get the eyes red. And Joseph pointed out that the head does in fact split apart if you can wedge it open. Now, I couldn't do it myself. The seam is so fine that I honestly, I don't have the visual acuity, the dexterity, whatever you want to call it, to pull it off. However, thankfully, Starscream Fiance was able to wedge the head apart into two halves. I took out the yellow light pipe piece and I just painted over the eyes, put the yellow light pipe piece back in, put the head back together, squeezed it, and it looks just fine. Now, it's weird, like the light pipe doesn't really come through per se, not as brilliantly as it does with the yellow, but the red does get like lighter if the light strikes the yellow light pipe section. So it does brighten it up just a little bit, but I think that it turned out fine with the red eyes. And here's my version of his lamppost mode. Yes, it's not an official transformation, though you can of course still do the official transformation, I guess, fine enough. Although I guess I should show that, because there is something that technically now you can't do with the official transformation, but this is how it looks with my light post mode in terms of the official light post mode. So when it comes to the official mode, you're supposed to be able to basically put the arms behind him, but you'll notice they can't go in now because we have these back shoulder pieces on. What you can do is still, if I can do it, maybe easier to do it this way. Push that back. Now I got it back too far. Bring it in like that. So like it doesn't tab in anymore, but like you can still pull it off if you want the official mode, something like that. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the official, unofficial lamppost mode looks something like this. And next up we have the spaceship mode thing, I guess, I suppose. I don't know what you call this. And before, we had a port up here and one over on the other side where you were able to put accessories such as this piece or accessories such as this piece. And while you can still use those, now we have extra ports down right here. And I like to put these pieces down on the side, on either side. I don't know, I think that looks better and more seamless, I suppose. In terms of this piece, I mean, you can still put it up here. I don't take this piece and throw it away and don't put the two, you know, the shoulder blaster and his regular hand blaster together. I don't know. I don't really like or need this piece. Do what you like with it. All of that being said, there's really one main reason that we're here, and it's the traditional, or at least as close as we can get an approximation to it, the traditional boombox stereo recorder mode thing that we all know, that plays cassettes, the cassette recorder thing. Now, to be fair, I didn't show any of the other transformations. I just showed kind of how this guy looks and how the parts interact in the other modes, because I don't think any of them are the prime alt mode that most fans want. Most fans, for as dated and outdated as it is, probably would like for him to be able to turn into that traditional mode. Although, that being said, the fact that he can do the other ones is super duper cool. And the fact that this kind of just adds just a little touch to those modes is nice. That being said, here's how we do the conversion for the last mode. We open up the back and we flip in his head and we close the back up. We come over here now to the flap on the arm and we open out the flap, we put the hand in and we close it back over, and we'll do the same thing over here. We open out the flap, in, close it back over. We bring these arms down by his side and using the rail over here, we will push it back and push it back. They're back now. Then we can come here to this leg and kind of start to bring it out, open up the leg, take out the, I guess, piece that's folded inside of his shin, put the foot inside, close it up. We can do the same thing over on this side, out and close it up. And this is what we have so far. Then we can turn him at the thigh, bring up the leg. Turn him at the thigh, bring up the leg. And while nothing particularly locks in, we can now get things situated for him to look like his traditional tape deck mode. And indeed, sometimes it's just the simple little things in life that make you so happy. I like this. I like that he can pull off like a vehicular mode so that he's mobile. I like that he can pull off his lamppost mode, and he can pull off this mode. Is there anything more that you could want your communications espionage agent to have? I mean, you know, he can hide so many different ways. So in terms of score for this, like I said, we can't really grade it like we normally would. For paint apps, I don't know, I had to put some paint on it. 5, 6, I suppose. 9, 10. I don't know. If you're cool with silver, then it's high. If you're not cool with silver, then it's not high. Transformation, it improves the transformation. 10. Articulation, they're pieces. I'll say this. Instead of articulation, let's go with tolerance. The back pieces, well toleranced. The slider works nicely, pretty smoothly. That piece is not coming out once it's wedged in there. The forearm fillers, they are toleranced really well, even pinned. More than I could say for Starscream's chest, I might add. But their tolerance, well, they open easily, they close easily to hide the fists. I'm very, very happy with this set. It's a very small thing to add on, but I could not be more delighted with how it worked out. So for articulation, we'll say 10 overall score for this set. 9, I guess? Is it absolutely necessary? Nuh-uh. You can enjoy Siege Soundwave anyway. Is it a nice little bump up to improve him just a little bit? Absolutely. And here we are once again with Siege Soundwave, and now he has his parts attached. And it just makes him that much more sound wavy, if you will. I mean, he was pretty fantastic before, but the fact now that you can really kind of pull off all of his alt modes, the fact that you, even now in the Spaceship Mode thing, if you're down with that, the fact that you have a couple of extra holes that you can use there for blasters or weaponizer parts or whatever, the fact that now his forearms are filled in, and yes, by now you have probably realized that, you know, I painted those a little bit. The silver pieces back here, I left them silver. It didn't bother me so much, you know. It was, I'm fine with it. I don't have an issue with it. And of course, the fact now that I took the plunge, again, I want to thank Joseph for pointing out how to do this, but I took the plunge and painted the eyes red. I don't know if there's anything else that could make this guy a more definitive Soundwave. I love the set. The painting of the head was a little more work than I thought, and I was nervous getting the head apart. Who am I kidding? I didn't take it apart. Starscream Fiance took it apart for me, and I'm glad that she did. But the painting of the yellow piece was easy. Easy. And putting this back together was easy. The hardest part is wedging it apart. But yeah, I think it's an ideal Soundwave now, and not to say it's for everyone, but it's certainly going to stand in my collection of Soundwave I would suggest to you for many, many years to come, and I will be quite happy about that. Anyway, again, I'm going to say, thanks for dropping by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I know how important it is to you. And hey, if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, there's a donate button, or link if you will, down in the description. And I very much look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit right here, inside the videos.